Okay, great. At this point, we've covered more than half of the persuasion principles, which is awesome. But that doesn't mean that the interesting part is over. In fact, today's lesson is going to be pretty cool. We're going to talk about the principle of scarcity. In the simplest terms, scarcity is the feeling of wanting more of what we cannot have. This principle is at the core of supply and demand in economics. Think about people who collect baseball cards or camp outside a bookshop, only to get their copy of whatever the latest frenzy is about autographed. Both groups of people feel that having a very rare item is somehow important, and a reason enough on its own to want to have that item. Scarcity is a fundamental part of human psychology and can be viewed both as a weakness and as a powerful feature of mankind. If you're having trouble imagining just how powerful scarcity can be as a stimulating device, consider what happens when a government bans a substance or a movie, like Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451, or when a company announces that it will be pulling a product off the market, like the iPod Classic in 2014. All those things experienced a sudden huge surge in demand, with people being willing to pay 4 or 5 times the original price. Now, some have suggested that the reason why human psychology works this way when faced with scarcity is because humans have an inherent need to feel in control. What that means is that when the environment presents us with circumstances we're not necessarily thrilled about, we want to remain in charge of how and to what extent they affect us. So if a product we enjoy is taken off the market, it feels like the company is trying to prevent us specifically from having this product. The only feasible option then becomes us trying to get our hands on that product. It gives us a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction, which ultimately results in valuing the product more. Does that make sense? Awesome. So the concept of scarcity is closely linked to the feeling of losing something. The prospect of losing things typically stimulates people to make decisions that try to avoid this prospective loss, right? Cool. Now, how do we use this human tendency in our marketing efforts? Easy. We aim to create a sense of urgency and a feeling that if the person doesn't act fast, they stand to lose something which is available right now. One tactic that is commonly used to achieve this is called the deadline tactic. Basically, you introduce some sort of time frame within which an offer will be valid and pair this with a call to action that carries a sense of urgency. For example, do not miss out on this opportunity. Contrast this with the mirror statement, take advantage of this opportunity. The previous one sounds more exciting, right? Great. One thing we need to point your attention to, however, is that the scarcity principle does not work linearly. What this means is that it is not the case that when scarcity increases, demand increases invariably with it. If everything is scarce, or let's say discounted, then people become used to the scarcity, and the scarcity becomes the baseline. Or to put it differently, if instead of there being only a handful of superheroes, everyone has superpowers, then these superpowers stop being super and become mere features, like fair complexion and dark eyes. That said, it is a general rule of thumb that when you are putting a product or a line on offer, you need to keep their quantity below 30% of all the company or brand's products. It makes for better business. So far, so good. Now, a final word about personal use of the scarcity strategy. When negotiating with or presenting an idea to a manager or a colleague, and you would like to get their compliance, do not forget to present potential loss figures alongside the unique benefits of your new idea. The psychology of loss is much more powerful force in decision-making than the psychology of gain is. Go figure. Okay, that's it for this lesson. See you in the next one, where we will be talking about authority and why it is important to convey that you are qualified on a topic to achieve the compliance you need. Thanks for watching.